Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Virtually Redundant podcast, a lighthearted podcast where we try to talk about a topic and just go off on tangents. My name is Darren, and I am joined today by Connor and Daniel. How was your week, lads?
My week's been not too bad. My wife's gone off to America with work and have a great time. So yeah, I've been running around like a mad thing, feeling like a house husband. You know, it's like I suppose it's a good representation for International Women's Week this week. You know, I'm doing all the chores in the house, so yeah, it's great.
Yeah, no, I've had a good week. I just have a tiny bit of a rant actually. You know LinkedIn.
No, never heard of it. No.
Yeah, we didn't go on a rant about it a few weeks back.
No, but what really bothers me is, you ever see when you're looking through the jobs, it's like 50 promoted, and like there's the one that's like latest. If you sort by latest, it's like the first 20 or 40 is like, oh, this is being promoted. It was advertised 18 weeks ago. It's like, why? Why are you giving me this? What's going on with you guys? Are you okay, hon?
You know, there is a filter to, hide anything older than a certain date. So you can set it to older than 24 or 48 hours or whatever. You know, you don't have to look at jobs from 18 weeks ago just because some recruiter is a bit lazy and taking it down.
No, I do. I saw, if you saw it by most recent, there's still all the promoted. Like, you just get spam with all the promoted first. Like, there's like 10 or 15 promoted, and then, oh, here's the most recent. Oh, here's one 6 hours ago, and then there's 8 more promoted.
I mean, they might just have not hired someone in the past 18 weeks. Maybe they're just looking for that really good candidate, the who's spent like 30 years, who's 25 years old, had 30 years of experience with Java,
What I find funny is that, like, we all know that we're in the IT industry, but what I find funny is the whatever kind of algorithm they're using to figure out jobs recommended for you. Here's one job recommended for me: nuclear technician.
Oh God, no.
Can you imagine my nuclear technician skills? Oh.
I don't trust you near my microwave, Daniel, so.
No, nobody would.
What do you know about radiation? Well, I'll have you know I have a microwave.
I have one at home. Where you have radiation at home? Yes, I do, sir.
For purposes of government agency watching this, Daniel does not have any radioactive materials at his home.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Well, why? Why would you say that? Why?
I'll confirm it. I do not have any radioactivity.
You're definitely getting pulled into the airport next time you travel to the US. So.
I'll see me coming.
So I recently bought a phone, and I was doing my research as you would, to make sure that I was going to get the right phone for the next several years. And while doing some comparisons of all the kind of latest and greatest phones, a few things kind of stood out for me. Two of which was that, one, the 355mm jack was not part of the phone, and I know there's been a lot of discussion about that in the tech industry. But the other thing that I never really realized is happening is that a lot of phones have started to remove the SD card slot from the phone, so you can't really get an SD card. Now, I have my own conspiracy theories about why this is, but do you think we're regressing in some technologies? It could be anything, kind of like games or just physical technology, but are we going backwards in some cases?
I think yes and no. So a lot of it, I believe, is down to, in the early days of a technology, there's more experimentation, there's more openness with the technology, and as it matures, as the business interests kick in, they start locking it down. They start trying to look for ways to optimize revenue streams and all that carry on. And unfortunately, that leads to things like the Apple headphone adapter, which is an absolute nightmare. You lose one of those, the dog eats it. They're always going missing. I can't remember what they are. They 30 quid a pop, 20 quid a pop. I don't know, but like you're forever buying one. And then of course all the other phone manufacturers went, oh, that makes the phone look sleek and all, which technically it does, but where do you draw the line between making something look sleek and destroying its functionality? Maybe it's a discussion around purity of design, but grinds my gears. And then I could go off on many other rants about a good few other design things as well. But yeah.
Is one of the things just because of the width, or the width of it, like, so the 3.5mm jack is bigger than the actual phone itself, So, yeah, because I'm trying to always get it smaller and smaller, so it's like it'll just be at the end of it, just be this massive hole at the bottom of it, like twice the width of the actual phone.
I suppose for the 3.5 millimeter jack, that is true. But I mean, how skinny does your phone need to be to have an SD card that it cannot have an SD card reader?
Might be just some of the later phones are bendable. These new that's the new push now, the new drive now. All the latest phones are like originally it was obviously the functionality. Then it got bigger and bigger. The notes and the XL large phones, and now I think it's the bendability of the phone. It needs to be bendable.
Yeah, I think it's probably more to do with cracking down on homebrew and people storing files. All these companies, they want you buying the cloud storage. They want you buying a new phone every 2 to 3 years. Whereas back in the day, OG Nokia and all, it was about, you make a phone and make it last forever. And then they realize, oh, damn, if stuff lasts forever, people don't buy the new thing we bring out. So then, okay, how do we guarantee someone's going to replace a phone every 3 years? We fill it with parts that are bound to fail that people can't repair. And they're like, job's done. How do we make them buy nice, fancy, wireless earbuds and stuff like that? No 3.5 jack for you. Brilliant, So, yeah.
And then every day for the browser on the phone, it takes up an extra meg, so then it gets very slow, and you have to buy a new one anyway.
I think Connor just confirmed my conspiracy theory, because I think the reason why they removed the SD card is so they could offer you cloud storage services so that you have to pay for it. Because previously, my wife would take a lot of pictures. So on our old phone, we would just take the SD card out and we'd put it in like a memory box or something like that. But now we have to pay for cloud storage because it doesn't have an SD card. And I guess when we move to a new phone, we have all our photos there. But at the same time, if we wanted to move from that cloud storage, we'd have to then kind of pay for another service that transfers it. We would prefer to have it on an SD card just so that we have it and we can retrieve it if we needed to.
Well, you could always just put it to the cloud and just hire a DevOps engineer to migrate to another cloud. Maybe if you're looking for somebody down.
Yeah, if any of you are a DevOps engineer, please contact virtuallyredundant@gmail.com if you want to move some pictures from one account to another account. I need 20 years of DevOps experience, please.
Must be 25 or under though.
Yeah.
Well, is there anything else other than the like obviously just the SD card removal and the 3.5 audio jack? But is there anything else in particular that they're kind of moving away? Like one of the things that I do miss is actually the CD drive. Now I know. We don't need a CD drive, USB keys, and you can load up. But I do miss the CD drive, man. Like on my DVDs, and it was so handy just putting in the CD and booting up, live Linux CD. USBs are there, but I miss the CD.
I mean, I'm pretty sure you're just part of a very small niche there. Like, fucking CDs, like, yeah, USBs could own like thousands of CDs. Like,
I think the biggest thing for me is the removal of cooling solutions and things like laptops. Like Apple. I don't know if anyone remembers the 2019, 2020 MacBook Pro. You'd think a device designed in California would be good to deal with the heat. No, every summer, and bearing in mind working in IT at the time, every summer we'd be flooded with calls of people going, my device is slowing down, it's crashing, it's not performing. And it's because of the heat sink on that thing was basically non-existent because they wanted to get it a bit thinner. So you'd think a device made in a hot country would be great at heat, but no. And that seems to be the trend for a lot of things. There's no focus on the functionality on even things like cooling, more on let's get it slimmer and tidier, and who cares if the phone battery explodes? We'll deal with that pure disaster at a later time.
See, does anyone, like, bit of a tangent, but does anyone remember that whole iPhone wave thing?
Yeah,
the wireless charging, and where you shove your iPhone in a micro. So just to clarify for any of our listeners, do not put your iPhone or any technology into the microwave. It will just explode it, right? But way back when, people did this really basically stupid marketing campaign. Basically, they spoofed it up and said, oh, iPhone released this software update that allows you to shove your phone into a microwave and it'll charge it. And you're just like, okay, right. I think there's a bit of tech literacy that needs to be happening around here, because I don't know what software update they would use to be like, oh yeah, no, we can handle shoving your phone in. All the microwave does to your phone is heat it up.
I want that library for my code.
Import microwave.cpp.
Yeah, import microwave.h.
Except radiation.
Oh God, we're back here again.
There was actually two other ones that did with that campaign. The other one was when there was missing the actual 3.5mm jack, you had to drill it in a hole into the bottom of your iPhone because it was actually there. And then, yeah.
So people got like a 3.5mm drill and just drilled it into their phone.
Did, yeah. The last one was the bendability. They actually said you could bend it because it was. I remember you kind of changed the casing of it where you could bend more, and it was permanently bent in their phone. Like, so he said, "Oh, that's a new feature for it as well." So
yeah, and another thing is like it's just the small things like when in terms of regression. Like, do you remember like split screen multiplayer?
No.
Vaguely.
End of conversation. Well, thank you all for this week of virtually redundant. That was a good discussion. No, but yeah, I miss split screen multiplayer. I feel like just sometimes there's really good things that people should just keep in, and I get that there's like development costs around it and stuff like that. But it's these kind of things that actually have like long lasting memories for most people. Like your CD burner, like how useless is that right now? But you miss it. Daniel just wants to go back like for 10 CDs and stick it in and burn his Lady Gaga or his Avril Lavigne or his whatever he wants mixtape.
No, I know what you mean. I 100% agree because I remember back when I think it was the PlayStation 4 at the time. When I got it was like, right, I'll have this in my living room, with my mates over, do a bit of co-op. Great. I was like, yeah, brilliant, got it. What co-op games do you have? Oh, online co-op only. Oh, well, this is a bit rubbish. So inevitably, what do? You end up pulling out an old GameCube, or you're literally having to go back to retro consoles, just have a laugh with your mates. Or in some cases, I think it was at your house one time, Daniel, I brought my bloody laptop because what, PCs are better these days at doing couch co-op, and I brought my laptop, and I think we played Tekken and a good few other things on the laptop hooked up to a TV, just because the console seems to have abandoned the co-op space.
I mean, you actually raise a very good point. Like right now, maybe split screen co-op or whatever is not really needed, but if you have children and in a couple of years time and I'm going to be like, let's sit down and play some split screen, and I won't be able to. I'll be like, let me buy a second fucking Switch and we can like play. I need 2 Switches, I need 2 laptops. I don't need to set up a LAN cafe just to play games with my children. Like, fuck that. No, I want my split screen. Like,
you could abuse each other over the voice chat, even if you're sat in the same room, you could be like, oh, look, X-Lord, whatever over here, they're giving me loads of grief, damn you, X-Lord, or whatever, yeah.
Well, one of the things is, with the old VR thing, like that split screen, that'll be very hard,
You'd be that person who gets rugby tackled through a TV or something like that.
Yeah, well, I think maybe I think in like 20 years' time, that's everyone's just going to be sitting on the couch like drooling with these VR headsets on, and nobody's talking, and that's just the way it is.
I know. I think people will be talking. I think they'll just be calling each other noob, kid good. That'll be our new language. Well, that was a fun discussion about regression, I guess. But we'll be right back after this sound of water in a glass. So I started watching a TV show on Netflix. Has any of you heard of V Wars?
No, I can't say I have.
No, is it cancelled already?
Thanks for spoiling the segment, you cunt. No. So, well, yes, the short answer is yes. But let me do my bit, and then you can start talking, you jackass. Right. So, V Wars stands for Vampire Wars, and it was this Netflix TV show released back, I think, in 2019. And I made the cardinal mistake of not actually looking into it. So I honestly thought it was like those mini series that they just release like 8 episodes and that's it. It's done. It's end to end. It's sorted, right? And I was on episode 7 and I was like, oh, I don't know how they're going to close this up in 1 episode. Like, oh, this is really weird. So I just decided to Google it and I was like, oh, V Wars was cancelled. And I was like, feck, why did they waste my 7 hours of my life or whatever watching this cancelled TV show? And it just got me to thinking that, Netflix and all these kind of providers are canceling these shows left, right, and center. But is there a TV show that you kind of wished wasn't cancelled, maybe even wished was cancelled, but that's a whole other discussion. But is there anything kind of that you miss and wish that they brought back?
Can I just go back to what you were saying? So, do you personally need closure for these type of things, or is it not just about the journey?
No, I cannot watch a TV show that's been cancelled. Like, I absolutely detest doing that. I do need like closure, even if it's like Game of Thrones crappy closure. It's something. It's better than like not nothing. So yeah, I do need a bit of closure.
No, 100% on board. And to be honest, I'm sorry for spoiling your segment there, but I can't really get invested in any Netflix show. I might see the trailer, I might go, that looks like something, I'm really hyped for it. And I'm like, no, step it back. If I get hyped for it, it's going to die. That's how these things work.
One of the ones that I think was cancelled too soon. Now I'll probably get a lot of flack for this. I think it was something that was great the first season, went very downhill very fast in second, third, and I think they made 4 in total, or 4 or 5. But basically, the last season was actually really good again, and it made me kind of go, "Why don't you keep? Oh, I wish you just keep making it." Was actually Heroes. Like the first season was actually really good, and okay, no, just hear me out here. Hear me out. It's controversial. Okay, this is probably be like many emails. We haven't got an email yet, but if you want to send an email giving after me about my Heroes comment, please email us at virtuallyredundant@gmail.com. But no, going back to the point at hand. Going back to the point at hand was the first season I thought was really good. Like I know people give out about it a lot, saying like they don't use their powers a lot. Like okay, it's not MCU type stuff, but it was good. But granted, season 2 and 3 was absolutely horrific. I don't know why I kept through it, but the last season I think brought it back and it opened it up to a lot more.
Do you know the creator of Heroes actually owned up to making it up as he went along? So he sort of had a loose plan for season 1, but then when it kept getting renewed, he didn't actually have a proper plan. And that's probably why it went out. And then they had the writer's strike in season 2 or 3 as well.
That's why I was off. Yeah. That's so it was basically the programmer approach, just making it up as he goes along.
Did they not release like a Heroes Reborn thing? Did they not like renew it or try to renew it?
Was that a web series? And I don't know much about that. I actually didn't see it because it died very quickly. Like I think it was only 6 episodes or something like that, and it just died very quickly. And I read up that it was all new, obviously characters, bar 1 or 2 kind of from the old season. So I didn't bother, and it died very quickly. So I'm not going to bother to watch it. But I definitely think it was ended too soon. But you know what TV series as well ended, and I'm actually like a bit off topic, bit of a tangent. We like tangents here at Virtually Redundant. But it was Jericho. Do you remember Jericho?
Oh, I remember Jericho. I love Jericho.
Oh, we were.
What?
It was terrible, man. The
No,
main
I like
character, and it
Jericho.
was I think, was he not a Mary Sue?
He was a Mary Sue. Definitely a Mary Sue. Yeah.
and like it was one season, wasn't it? Like they made one season. The concept was really good, but it's just I think the execution was just horrible.
It might have been 2 seasons, but yeah, they definitely cancelled it quite early. So yeah, that is definitely a show that it had a really good concept. I agree that maybe the execution could have been better, but it was definitely a show that I was vested in kind of the world building more than the actual characters, I guess. And to go on like on another tangent, I think it's going to hit a point now where I'm just going to refuse to watch TV shows, and everyone else is going to be like, oh, I'm not going to watch this TV show until they renew it for another season, and then nobody watches it, so they cancel it. And it's just like they're just releasing TV shows, and everyone's just waiting for them to renew a second season, and they're like, oh, nobody's watching this show, and everyone's just like, did they renew it? No, okay. Self-fulfilling prophecies here.
The new circle of life. Everything gets cancelled.
I'm just waiting for Netflix to just announce something and cancel it the next day and just keep doing that.
I think they've done it already.
I think they have. I think they've announced they're going to make something and then cancel it. There was one actually cancelled recently. Now, it's a comedy. Now, it wasn't half funny, but it was like, it's light humor. But I like the story. Unfortunately, the second season of it, they did kind of go off weird kind of... They didn't follow the pattern that they did in the first season, but Avenue 5, have you heard of it?
Nope.
Has Hugh Laurie in it?
No, I've not seen that. I've been to see a stage play called Avenue Q, which is about politically incorrect Muppets, but that's a tangent for another day.
I don't even know how to respond to that. I mean, that actually sounds like a brilliant TV series, But Muppets, actually from the Muppets universe.
Well, no, because they couldn't do that. They'd be done for something. I don't know. But no, it's like a stage play, and I think it's on in Broadway and a few others. But it's like the puppet style Muppets, but they're really politically incorrect, and there's even a song in it. It's brilliant. You have to go and see it yourself, but there's a song in it that goes, "Everyone's a little bit racist sometimes," so that can give you a flavour for it's hilarious.
Are they the people who did The Internet is for Porn, or was that another thing?
I think that's from Avenue Q. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
yeah,
how
yeah.
it started.
I know of it. Yeah, I know of it now. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that was a great song.
I think everyone's heard about that song.
Well, Zoomers and younger people might, though. I think the older generation. There is like now, just it's not a TV series that was kind of never continued on, but it's more of a movie that should have continued on. Now, I don't know if any of you seen it, and again, this is where it'll probably get flack for it. But did anyone see the 2021 Resident Evil? Welcome to Raccoon City.
Was that Netflix? There were several Resident Evil.
No, this wasn't Netflix one. This was one gone to the cinema. It had the guy from Uploaded, TV series in it. The main character from Uploaded in it. He played Chris Redfield, but I thought it was very good. It was very close to the Resident Evil 1 and 2 game, mostly 1, but some references from 2 as well was in it. But I thought it was very good. It's like 5.4 on IMDb, but I enjoyed it, and I was hoping to make a second one, but no.
I think the Resident Evil fans are going to be emailing you with hate mail, probably for saying it follows the story closely.
Yeah, just if you're a Heroes fan and a Resident Evil fan, please don't get angry.
So I have a story. So you could do the stereotypical one, which is Firefly, but everyone knows about that. But I have another one which was called Dollhouse. I don't know. Have any of you ever heard of it?
Was it about dollhouses?
Connor is mostly men and dollhouses.
I know, yeah. It's very weird combinations. I must poke that into ChatGPT and see what happens. But essentially, it was a program about people who, I don't know, if they get brainwashed or their consciousness, and they essentially can become different people. All this, so kind of a science fiction type thing. And the first season started off kind of interesting, a little bit cheesy because older television's a little bit low budget. But just to circle back to Darren's point about closure, so it technically had closure after being cancelled at the end of, I think it was season 2. But it was that kind of, they knew the cancellation was coming, so they made a wrap-up series of episodes. So the story from kind of progressing and kind of going normal, building intrigue, that kind of thing, then just went totally mental at the end. It became essentially like a zombie apocalypse scenario, and it was like, what is even going on here? Just totally nonsensical. So that would be my argument sometimes against closing out TV shows like that, because you just, I don't know, yeah.
Yeah, I think sometimes when it comes to certain things, I like the open-ended questions, like what happens, and it's a nice discussion that people can have kind of certain interpretations and arguments against it. But I just looked it up here, Connor, and I'm just going to read the description out here, just from what Connor said. A top secret organization erases the identities of attractive young women, turning them into blank dolls, ready for imprints of temporary identities they need to fulfill assignments for clients.
There is actually attractive young men in there as well, just to be clear.
Well, it says young people. I didn't say young women. Okay, just relax. There's the young hot man there for you, Connor. Don't be worried.
Is it? Are you sure this was on like TV Corner, not like some random internet website that we won't mention on this podcast?
No, I'm pretty sure it was produced by Fox. Now, the fella who made it, I believe, has probably been cancelled at this point. I think it was the Joss Whedon one, so I think he's not. I don't know. Yeah, but it was just kind of, it had an interesting concept, I suppose. But then it just kind of, it was one of those where it just kind of went a bit mental and off the rails and got cancelled. So yeah.
I mean, yeah, I would agree with your sentence about closure. Like, fair enough. Yeah, don't rush it. But at least you could write a book, do a comic, do a manga. You could do something in a different medium. Like, does anyone ever watch the TV series Humans? It was on like Channel 4 a few years ago. It was about basically like androids.
No. Yeah, a show called Humans about androids. No, no. This doesn't add up at all.
This is false advertisement. I want my money back. No. But like, yeah, it was just like it would have been nice, like if someone just like wrote a book on something like that. Basically, just finish the story out, because I get open-ended questions, but it's not like, oh, it's an open-ended question if it's like the last episode has them like standing at the edge of a cliff or something like that, and they're like, you don't know what's going to happen. It's like, oh, it's an open-ended question. It's like, no, that's not open-ended. That's literally incomplete.
Like if they finished Halo 2 and went, we're going to finish the fight, and then that was it.
Yeah, exactly.
5 games on, they're still trying to finish that fight.
That's a different fight now.
So the title of this the title of the show is just going to be "Attractive Young People."
Attractive young people in my 3.5mm jack.
Oh God. Oh, sake. That won't get us cancelled at all.
Oh yeah, no, that's the title. I don't care. I don't care. That's the title. Attractive young people and my 3.5mm jack. I like it.
People will listen to this episode.
I mean, it's not really a boast.
Did anyone watch Inside Job?
we talk about sex again here, Inside Job, or what are we talking about?
Yeah, I like how you follow up that last bit with something called Inside Job. Yeah.
What is it? What's Inside Job now? It's on Cinemax.
Is it called Inside Job? Is it not like the one on Netflix, the cartoon about like the super conspiracy organization?
Oh, I think I know what you're on about. Yeah, and like I won't spoil it this time. I'll let you go ahead.
But basically, yeah, they cancelled it. So, and a lot of people were really upset about it. And fair enough, it's not like ha funny. Like you maybe get a chuckle or two out. But I felt like the story was actually, one of those like the type of cartoons that actually have kind of a bit of a story where you kind of start to at least connect with the characters on some level. That's how I felt about it. But when you realize that they cancelled that, and then also kind of Final Space was cancelled, and it seems like they're just cancelling everything.
One of the things, though, you made a comment is like people being upset. It's a bit of a tangent, but I had to laugh. You know the way you see these clickbait things, like people are furious at what this person said in this TV show, and it posts like one tweet from some randomer who's not like anybody. It's like, why is the people aren't furious? Is that one guy on Twitter? Like people, I know they're people too, but it's one person.
Person is raging at angry man yells at cloud.
Yeah, but definitely something. That's a good point. Final Space is definitely something like I did think it was kind of went a bit downhill, but I still like it for it to finish just for closure.
For closure, yeah. What was that, Dale? For closure, you want closure? No, for closure. It's open ended. Fucking make your own ending. Fuck you.
Yeah, I do. I'll make my own, and then they all die. Oh, yeah, GG.
That's how I'm gonna end everything. They all died, and I went home. I had popcorn.
I think Netflix's new thing, maybe it'll be, just make up your own end to the story with ChatGPT or something. I actually asked ChatGPT to write us a quick story before we came on about Netflix and how they love cancelling stuff. So Rick was a Netflix executive who had a secret hobby. He loved to cancel popular shows and watch the fans rage online. He enjoyed seeing the petitions, the tweets, the memes, and the articles that expressed outrage and disappointment. He felt powerful and amused by the chaos he created. So it's quite accurate in some ways too.
If we get a cease and desist from someone named Rick at Netflix, I am so sorry. All characters are like not what's the thing that they say at the start are purely coincidental or something like that.
Did you guys feel like you got closure for, let's say, Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
No, fuck closure. They all died at the end.
What? Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
That's what you're saying. Do you need closure? No, you don't need closure. I don't know closure.
No, but
they're all died at the end. I'm happy.
Did you feel like it ended? Like you're happy that it ended and where it ended?
That was another Joss Whedon one, which I think probably ended in a similar fashion to Dollhouse. Another one of his projects. So.
The reason why I bring it up is, did you know they are actually rebooting Buffy the Vampire Slayer?
I think that's a whole nother discussion. I think that could be on your show next week, Daniel. There, I think you have a topic there. Listen
in next week for Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot with new information. It's just what I grab off IMDb.
You won't believe what Buffy the reboot will have. It'll have these actors. Yeah,
it'll have Buffy being it, but there's no actors actually assigned to it at the moment, so it's still early stages.
It will probably get cancelled.
It will have vampires. Did you know that?
Twilight vampires or some crap like that. just Edward just getting stabbed by Buffy.
I'd watch that.
Okay, well, I guess that's kind of us finished with that. I'm pretty sure there's hundreds of shows that were cancelled, but we just decided to end up on Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And as per usual, any of my discussions are just random now. Why do I even bother? But yeah, okay, we'll be back right after these messages, sounds, clips. Dale's the editor for this episode, so he'll find something. We'll be back after this. So what did we talk about today? We talked about, is tech regressing? Are we going backwards in technology? Where's my 3.5mm jack? Or better yet, where is my SD card? We discussed cancelled TV shows, for example, Inside Job, or if anyone actually cares, Heroes. I think Daniel's probably the only one who missed that show. But if you if you do want Heroes Black, please email us at virtuallyredundant@gmail.com, and I will send you a cease and desist and never contact me again. Well, lads, have you got any plans for next week?
Where's your plans, Daniel? Huh? Where's your plans?
I have fuck all plans for the next week. Seriously, I don't know what I'm doing. I just wake up and the wife goes, "Yep, today you're working." It's like, "Oh, I'm working today," or "Today we're going here." "Oh, right, I'm going here today."
That's reassuring, as our host next week will be Daniel, who will discuss probably absolutely fuck all.
Well, I don't know, because next week we're going to talk reboot Buffy. Do I have to have that happen this week to me? Do I? Huh?
Next week we will talk about apparently Buffy for 30 minutes. I hope you're all ready for this thrill ride.
He has absolutely no facts to back it up.
It's going to be absolute bollocks.
Buffy is a remake based on vampires.
Well, hang on a second. We said reboot. I'm pretty sure the name reboot is different from a remake. I'm sure, isn't it? No. Let me just Google that up for our viewers. What's the difference between a reboot versus a remake?
If you want to find out the answer to this question, please tune in next week, where Daniel will be our host. Thank you and good luck.